Hello, fabulous Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2014, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Last month, I spoke about how it was a really big month for you where it came to love. And absolutely, there would have been developments, moments of honesty, moments of looking at where you are in a relationship and making some choices. And a lot of Capricorns out there did this with great bravery and did this with a lot of grace as well. And so I'm particularly proud of the Capricorns I know who reached out to me and told me how their mid-month full moon in the opposite sign manifested for them. This month, what I find really interesting is that while you have these experiences, what I'm seeing is you start this month almost with a feeling of being fresh off the experiences that you're carrying from last month. As you enter this month, and especially once we get you into the middle of the month, your focus is going to start to shift, and it becomes much more about wanting something that is real, wanting something that is really reminiscent of a feeling of safety that you may have felt at some point in your life, or maybe you just know on some level deep within your psyche. But it has to do with really, if it can't be real, if it can't be intense, if it can't be really honest, you're not really going to be interested. And because of this energy that's there, it does look like you may end up pursuing experiences or moments that actually promise some intensity. But one of the really big lessons that's happening for you this month around love is that sometimes there is a natural process to actually get you to those moments of intensity and honesty. And if you can trust that process, once you do get to those moments where you're able to be really honest with another person and you're able to sort of lay bare, if you don't just start off right out the gate with that, but you actually wait and let something develop and let this person show you that there may be a safe space for you to do that, and then you do that, then very often you find that this ends up being a process that is well worth the wait and well worth the effort, because by then both people have invested a certain amount of energy. But also by then, you've got a lot of potential there for that honesty to be not only well received, but to actually really facilitate a moment of transformation and a very healing moment for you. But then there are really like pushing it out of the gate and then kind of realizing that, okay, maybe things are not as they seemed. Maybe there isn't exactly, this might not be the exact perfect moment to really lay it all bare. And this is going to be part of the lesson for you. Now, some of you are going to actually experience this as part of your own experience. Others may end up projecting it and attracting somebody where you are really witnessing them have this experience with you and sharing with you. But one really overriding theme, and I've got to put it out there, like I said, there's something to be said about honoring the right time and allowing things to unfold in their own time. Of course, trust your instincts. And if you feel drawn to somebody and the other person's drawn to you and you want to spend a lot of time together, that's awesome. I'm not saying not to do that. But what I am saying is there are certain moments when we really allow another person to see us deeply, when we share things that maybe we don't want everybody to know that we don't just we're out there. And those moments, they mean a lot more when it's with someone that has shown us that we can trust them. But what I'm seeing this month is the possibility, in all honesty, is either you revealing a truth or you being the recipient of somebody else revealing a truth, really laying themselves bare in a way that ends up really being a game changer. And it can really go either way. And I'm seeing the need to be very mindful of the right time. And so if you are not mindful, or if another person, if you end up being the recipient of such news, is not mindful, then what I'm seeing is that you could sort of end up in a moment when you're saying to yourself like, wow, okay, I didn't know all that was in there. I didn't know that was actually the intensity of all that seems so calm on the surface, if you will. And I'm reminded of how a lot of times, I've read it, I've advised it, I've been advised it, and as part of any person going through the whole world of meeting other people at any point in your life, there comes a moment when you realize that this person that you've met is not your therapist. This person that you've met is there to be part of your journey in some way, but they are not someone necessarily that you're going to just just talk, and lay it all bare with right out of the gate. And the reason I share this with you is because I do think that there's likely to be a moment where you may feel that this person needs a therapist, that they're really talking to you because they don't have somebody else to talk to, and they're sharing way too much, way too fast. And then you might actually end up being that person who ends up sharing way too much, way too fast. And on the other side of it, may end up feeling really vulnerable. So how do you navigate this well? Well, you make sure that you are able to share with people that you do trust, and maybe with people whom you don't have that sort of romantic connection with. And when you find somebody sharing a lot with you, then it's going to be your decision, your intuition that's going to lead you to decide whether or not you want to be present for that or not. And if it doesn't feel right, then it's up to you to speak on your own behalf and say, wow, I feel like I'm getting to know a little bit too much too fast. I think you're awesome, but let's hold something off for another time. So how this would speak to you, this energy would speak to you if you're in an established bond, then chances are, as I said, it could just end up being a moment where a part of your partner is revealed that really just takes you aback a little bit. That makes you go, oh, wow, okay, I didn't know that about you, and that's really different. And that could be a really good thing or not, depending on how you choose to receive it, because you can take it as a marker that things are progressing on a level of deeper intimacy, because that possibility is there. And if that is the case, for those of you who are not in necessarily established bonds, but bonds that are fairly new, I think that the potential of this type of moment is there, but the feelings, the after feelings seem to be a little bit like maybe it's going a little bit too fast. What does this mean? Why is it that this has to take such a serious tone at this time? So that seems to be the overriding theme. And for those of you who are open to meeting somebody new, as I said, chances are that you may end up attracting an experience with somebody very new who's actually sharing a whole lot more than you were prepared for, or you may surprise yourself by how much it is that you desire to share, how much it is that you desire another person to bear witness to your life. Ultimately, it is this whole element of intimacy that is the overriding theme of this month, where it comes to love for you. And understand that intimacy takes many different forms, and intimacy doesn't necessarily have to be found within the context of a romantic bond. Make sure you find an outlet that feels safe to share some of the very private things that will be coming up for you. Make sure you're listening to your intuition every step of the way, so that when you do share or when you do listen, it falls on a heart that is truly receptive to hear it. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.